Hi everybody, it's Kathleen Byram, Kathy the Donkey, and I'm here to read to you tonight from Chapter 2, Ripples Continued. We had stopped when we were talking about the thank you note and asking how many people do you think sent them a thank you note for their Bible. And so I'll now continue. This really does not fit in with my subject today, but it feels like an important prelude. It made me aware of how my simple actions could touch others. Here are some more things I have picked up over time that I'm aching to share with you about kindness and affecting others, which is at the cornerstone of my donkeyness. In my senior yearbook, a girl I barely noticed from art class wrote, "To the most considerate person I ever met." I cried and never forgot it. Later I realized her last name was that of the family who was friends with my mother's side of the family. When I moved from Indianapolis from a huge school with some cruel children to Orleans, a tiny school, my class had only 50, I noticed a stunning difference in the personalities of the children. They were not hateful to each other. They did not mock. They had decent upbringings and mores. I made friends with a neighbor girl and her friend who rode the bus with me, but were still in the lower school a few grades behind. I gave them nicknames, Sarah Hare and Joy Robin. As you can see, I have not outgrown my connection with the significance of avatars. One day on the bus they passed me a note. I had not received many notes as a child, being reserved, a little odd, and not given to being cheerful or very outwardly friendly. So I was titillated with happiness. I rushed into the house and opened it. It was really, my friends, a love letter. It was covered with stickers and said, "We like our names you gave us," and "We're glad you're our friend," and other things. I had never in my life received anything like that. I sat and cried. I was a home health aide in southern Indiana years later. One man, Mr. L., loved his aides and was grateful for them. His words belied this, but his body and expressions did not. His body and affect were stiff. I do not know his diagnosis. He was like a stone. I knew much was going on inside that prison of a body he was trapped in. One day he expressed his angst at his predicament. Why was he even alive? Useless, he thought. My heart almost broke for him. "Oh, Mr. L," I told him with great emotion. I am sure my whole normally reserved manner exploded with expression. "You have no idea what plans are made for you. You have no idea what effect your tiny little actions might have upon the world. One tiny little thing that you think nothing of may cause a ripple effect that will spread out and cause a major effect that will change the world." His stiff, stone-like body collapsed inwards in a heap, and he howled. I shook with the knowledge of what I had affected in his spirit. I will never forget in a million years. Other beautiful things. When I was 8 months pregnant in August in Indianapolis, living in hell, my then husband had some trouble and was separated from me. I was alone. No air conditioning. No stove, no food, no hot water, no brain. We were insane with stress. The next door neighbor of our duplex came and knocked on the door. He lived with his children and their mother. He was a nice man. He took me into his home. He led me upstairs to their air-conditioned bedroom and told me to take a nap. When I awoke, he served me dinner in bed. Not long after, my mom and cousin came up with the station wagon and moved me out of there and took me back home to Orleans. Bob on Tacoma in Indianapolis in 1989. God bless your soul. I hope you are happy wherever you are. In San Francisco, I managed a bakery, now closed, in Pacific Heights. A customer began to come who acted strangely. I thought perhaps what he suffered from was something like Tourette's. I had the funniest imagination that when others came around, he would worry that he would have a spell, and the nervousness would bring it on. I would save my coffee bean grinding for his visits. I would keep a peripheral eye on him, and when it seemed right, would turn on the loud grinding machine, and no one could hear any odd sounds, and no one could be embarrassed for making them. I do not know if he knew I was trying to work with him. I hope he did, and that was why he kept coming back. For a while. Then I suspect the owner, not much of a Dawnkey type, spied him one day, and it was all she wrote. I remember a lovely lady, a co-worker of sorts, that sadly left for Arizona. I guess I was not aware of the level of my affection for her. One day, when calling her from one store to clear before coming, she answered, and I blurted out with uncharacteristic verbal enthusiasm, "Hello, my sweet friend." Dead silence. My face burned and my eyes popped with horror at my schmucky, cringy, dorky act and self. When I got to the store, there was a piece of paper in my parts box. It had a childlike drawing of a smiley face. Highlighters had been used to enhance it. My eyes began to sting a little. I said without thinking, "Who did this?" And a coworker said, "I think she did." She was sitting in front of the computer. She would not look at me. We were stiff with our embarrassment at the emotion of the situation. I told her I have a special place for things like this, that I put special things in. I will keep this, and she nodded, smiling. Isn't it funny, the things that happen that touch you so deeply and that you remember? The quality of your life can explode with intensity when you begin living to love. Just little acts can have such an impression, and you never know who is watching or being affected, and how they will go on and touch someone else. I share these things that touch me so that I may touch you, and that they will make a difference. Live your life as though the people who matter to you are watching. And now, maybe you understand a little more about donkeyness, but I suspect I still wasn't clear. Okay, I'll start back at the beginning. And that is where we're going to stop. And I will continue Chapter 2 on the next video. Thank you so much for listening tonight. Now what's the problem? Here we go. Bye.